Hey, good morning, everybody. It's SNSN. It is Monday morning. It's about time the weekend was over. I couldn't handle any more weekend hours. I couldn't wait to get back to work. I couldn't wait to get back to talk to you.
Yeah, sure.
Couldn't wait.
Yeah, you could.
Here I am.
Yeah.
There you are. And we got a lot to talk about.
You? I thought we were going to talk about trick-or-treating or something.
That's what happens when you're retired. It's like, what? There's stuff going on? I have no idea if anything is going on at all.
No, we live in a house with blinders on.
So we all know tomorrow's election day, right?
Yeah, yes.
Are you happy about that?
Well, what are you going to do? Comes around every couple of years.
I just want it to be over.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's election every year, but
yeah,
not everybody runs every year.
Yeah, there's a lot of paper signs to pick up. They're everywhere. Jesus, I hope they pick them up. Talk about paper lawyering.
I was Stu Norman was putting out his signs.
Holy crap! He's got them
a few days ago, and he's running around in his Impreza, the Stubaroo, putting out his signs.
I think they're going to rename
everywhere.
They're going to rename Pleasant View to Stu Norman Drive. I mean, God. He's got more signs than
I know. They're everywhere. Yeah, I guess he's trying to get his point across.
I guess.
I bought extra signs just for Pleasant View.
Yeah, we're going to change the name.
That's where I saw him.
Yeah.
That's right.
They're all the whole friggin' line of them out there.
Oh, this is do you think this has been a clean election? Or do you think it's been a kind of a...
Yeah, it's been a little bit different than it has been the last few years. I think there's been a little bit of slinging going on.
There's no slinging in Plainfield.
No.
I haven't heard anything really derogatory.
No,
about
not in Plainfield.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Cunningham's going to win. That's just the end of that.
I would think he's done a lot for that town. So
no offense to, but I don't even know who's running against it. There's a lady that's running.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I don't think there's anybody. I think you could. I don't even think the Pope could beat Kevin Cunningham right now. He's done so much for that town.
Yeah, he's done a lot. So hopefully the people appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Colchester. Stan says Colchester.
Oh, they got some going out there.
Is there some mudslinging in Colchester, Stan? That's what I would like to know.
Yeah. You kind of wonder if
the town council is awry in Colchester.
Well, you kind of wonder based on what's going on in the country, how we're mixed, left versus right. If this is definitely coming down and having impacts on the local elections. Yeah. Everybody thinks, everybody thinks that this party is better than that party, but that's not the way to vote. I don't know why people feel that way. Just because somebody's a Democrat or Republican doesn't mean that that's who you vote for. Because if you're, you vote for who you feel is going to do the job right. Unfortunately, that's not what's going on. Everybody feels, I heard some guy, let's paint Goodwill red. It's like, what the hell? That's not what we're here to do. You're here to pick the right person for the right job. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you'd love to comment on some of these people, but, what can you do? Everybody, as you say, everybody's a keyboard warrior. They don't get involved, and they bitch about everything. Mm-hmm. If you want to make changes, get involved. We know right now that's the way they feel, but after come Wednesday morning, everything changes, and they won't do crap over until the next election, which will be next year. It's exactly how it's going to run.
I'm Paul Ash, and I'm not bitter.
No, I just don't like some of the things I see people writing, and they got the head up their ass because they don't know what they're talking about. Yeah. So
You want to name any?
no.
So just random candidates have their random
No,
heads
I'm
up
not
their
saying-
random asses.
I'm not saying candidates.
Oh,
I'm saying people who are making comments about certain things don't know their ass from their elbow. You know.
Well, it's very easy to go on social media.
Oh yeah.
And
They complain about everything, and they don't even know what the issues are and what people are doing, and so we'll see. People don't want to change Griswold, then you're going to pay.
So I guess the mudslinging in Colchester is Stan said that doesn't want to name any names, but disgruntled former employee wrote very derogatory letter about one Democratic candidate.
Oh. Well,
you know what? If you're going to do something like that, if you're going to write a letter, then own it.
That's the problem.
Own it.
A lot of them don't do that.
We get on here every single day, and sometimes we let our personal views squeak out.
Yep.
But we own it.
Right.
That's why this whole thing about going on to the various social media pages and just spouting off, sometimes on what they call a troll account.
Yeah.
Because it's not really that person.
Yeah.
It means nothing.
Right.
And it's just nothing but to stir the soup, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. and it could be anybody. It could be anybody stirring the pot. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's a resident. It could be somebody out of town.
It could be.
It could be a candidate. Who the hell knows?
Right.
You have no clue who it is.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. And that's the thing about social media.
Yeah.
Social media can be very damaging.
Yeah.
And can be very helpful. But again, when you're making comments and you're not owning your comments, then there's really nothing behind it.
Yeah.
And then it's just hearsay and you slough it off and nobody cares.
I mean, how often do you read anything real positive on any one of these social media? Look at Facebook. How many times do you see something positive or something good happened? It's always something bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a joke about somebody. That's just the way it is.
Have you seen anything in any town, whether it be Norwich, Plainfield, Griswold, Colchester, Lisbon, Canterbury, Sterling, any of the Voluntown, any of the surrounding towns, that somebody has written something or that's been positive?
No. Nobody looks at, well, we did a good job. This was done. That was a good job. We did all that. No, it's always looking at, the cup is half empty.
Mm-hmm.
Never that the cup is half full. It's like, you have a lot of people bitching about the senior center. Well, so there was an issue. So what? But it's going to move forward. It's going to be a nice place for the seniors to go. It'll get done.
Mm-hmm.
But, because it's not getting done to the people's satisfaction right now, well, you can't get it done. Have you tried to do something in your own house to get it done? You can't get contractors to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even get materials. So, but that's just sitting there, but that's another story. So, but that came up as part of everybody bitching, just like the data centers and bitching about the data centers. Well, if you don't want them, what are you going to do? Tell the landowner they can't sell their property? What the hell kind of world we live in? I mean, if this was that individual and they had 100 acres of land and they got a good price for it, right? Yeah. You're gonna tell them they can't sell it? What the hell? What
Very
the hell?
true.
What
Very
the hell?
true.
What
Very
right?
true.
What right does one resident tell another resident they don't have the right to sell their property?
That is correct, Paul. Yes, the studio audience approves of your answer. Yeah.
I told you, out of spite, I put in a goddamn manure plant right next to some housing place.
Do you remember?
Bitching about it. I would do that.
Do you remember?
Yeah, we did that.
When we did that?
Yeah.
So about what 6-8 months ago,
Yeah.
you and I came up with this thing that we said that there was going to be a manure plant put in the town of Griswold.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was going to be smack dab like around Arrowhead 2.
Yeah.
And
with the wind blowing the right way.
With the wind blowing.
We're going to check that out.
Uh-huh. And hopefully the people over there, weren't going to be offended by all the chicken poop. Yes, chicken poop. And that they were going to send the manure they're going to ship it in from different towns.
Yes. Yeah.
And we were going to go ahead and manufacture chicken stuff or whatever.
Chicken fertilizer. Yeah. We're going to dry it and Yeah. That's what we're going to do.
That's right. And they're going to.
Yeah.
Boy, that'll be tasty, huh? It'll kind of like smell like pork rinds everywhere,
Yeah. Well, it's always not in my backyard, you know that. But
NIMBY.
Yeah. That's the way it always is,
Yeah.
So you kind of wonder, people bitching about everything, but yet they want all this stuff. You want your roads fixed, you want president cops, you want this, you want that. How are you going to get it?
You can't have one without the other.
Yeah, I mean, they want to fix the football field, which, it needs to be done, but how are you going to get that done?
Numbers don't lie, Paul. Numbers don't lie. If you want certain things, look at your own checkbook, and checks and balances.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't get that extra box of cereal this week. Why? Because I just can't afford it.
If you don't think that the town's expenditures are going up, sure they are. If we're having trouble at our own homes paying for stuff as a result of going to grocery stores, putting gas in your car, buying oil and all this other stuff, you don't think that's not happening in the town? It certainly is.
No, but you know what I'm thankful for? There's not one candidate by the name of Brandon,
Oh, God. Yeah, poor Brandon.
My God. It is. I bet you there are hardly anybody naming their kids Brandon right now.
I doubt it. Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Did you see they were doing a chant yesterday in a sports stadium and Trump was there and he was laughing.
Well, yeah, he was no, you know where he was? He was at the ball game.
Oh, the World Series game?
The World Series game.
Okay.
And I guess he's a Brave fan and he was doing the tomahawk.
Oh, okay.
And they were bitching at him because he was doing the tomahawk.
Why?
I don't know. A native. It was against the Native Americans.
Okay,
that's what it was doing.
All right.
That people were bitching about. So,
all right. Well, I got one word for you, or two words.
Yeah.
Montville Indians. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know whether.
And there's no talk about them changing.
No.
So God bless them.
And it's funny too because they wouldn't let the World Series. They wouldn't let the All-Star game be in Atlanta.
But the World Series.
But the World Series could be there.
What was the whole reason behind that?
It was the voting law, the Georgia voting law that they didn't like. So they punished the city of Atlanta because of the voting law. So they moved it.
Right.
Now what they're doing.
It's kind of dumb.
But here's the other thing now. Apparently,
excuse me.
Yeah, apparently now in Texas, they got the voting law. In Texas, they're telling all the black athletes not to play for any Texas pro teams.
Well, you know what? It's not going to matter because when it comes to football, the Dallas Cowboys aren't going to win. I'm sorry. They're just not going to,
Yeah, but it's not only that.
Sorry, Chelsea.
But it's all the sports.
Oh.
All the sports in Texas are saying for the black people, not the black athletes.
My daughter Chelsea and her husband, if they heard that, they'd probably want to spear me because they're big Cowboys
fans. But that's the other thing that's going on. So
they called my daughter about a month ago, and I said, "Hey, guess what?" She said, "What?" And I said, "I put a Dallas Cowboys sticker on my vacuum. Now it sucks again." Yeah.
So there you go.
There we go.
Good thing we didn't change that voting rules in
No.
Griswold, huh?
I don't know. I think there's some very important races in Griswold. I think the ones that people are actually paying more attention to are Board of Finance and Board of Education.
Yeah.
I think those are there's a lot of seats up for grabs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think those are the ones
Those
that
are
people
two
are paying more
important
attention
ones.
to.
Those are two important ones because you want to make sure you get the right people on the finance board. You may get the right people on the Board of Education, especially in today's world, because you really want the education and you want you want them to teach the right thing.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I don't know what the curriculum is, but I was in Virginia. They're having some issues. I heard a story this morning on the news where a parent is taking their kid out of school. I think it's a 6-year-old in Virginia, because the 6-year-old, she's a white girl, a little young girl, came home and says, "Mommy, why am I bad?" Because she's white.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, that's what they're teaching in school. That she's bad because she's white. You know, at 6 years old, I mean,
that's terrible.
It's terrible. So the woman pulled her kids out of school, but you can't blame her, because that's not what you're supposed to teach the kids. We're supposed to be joined. We're one.
But kids are just supposed to be
6 years old,
happy and pure, and
they don't know what the hell you're even talking about.
Like last night, it was Halloween last night.
Yeah, it was.
We sat outside, had spooky music playing.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're downtown.
Giving out candy bars.
Yeah, you were downtown because you have a lot of. You're not downtown, but you're.
Well, we were giving away $25 gift certificates.
Ooh.
And $50 bills. So we had a lot of kids.
I would have been down there.
Just don't look at your bank account this morning, Paul.
I was going to come down there, and I would have known that.
No, we had 3 Musketeers bars, Hershey bars, Kit Kats, and pretzels.
Really?
We did.
Did you get a lot of kids?
We did.
Yeah.
It was nice, and I think that was the thing that meant a lot to me for Halloween. I was never, even when I was a kid, when I was little, you know, I would go out and do trick or treating, and you know, you'd go out and see what kind of a take you'd get for the night. But even as like 13, 14 and stuff, I would much rather stay home and hand out the candy.
Oh.
It was fun because I got a kick out of seeing, and even today, it was I love it. I love it. And, you know, the kids coming up, and it was just good to see so many people that were out, you know, and not worried, you know, about, you know, somebody, is it going to be a super spreader or what? Yeah. People were just out having a good time, you know, with some silly mischief and, you know, their costumes that looked wonderful. Right. We even had one. It was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Wow.
You know who the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is?
No.
You never saw the movie Ghostbusters?
Oh, okay.
At the end? Okay. Oh, no. Yeah. It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Ah, okay. Now I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Well, I'm glad there's a lot. I mean, it's surprising because a lot of kids don't go out anymore. It's not like it used to be.
No, but there were a lot of little kids, which was really, and it was really good to see, you know?
Yeah.
Going back to the elections, Madeline Garner says people are over it. And Scott Fryer says Fauci does not approve. I don't care what Fauci approves of.
You don't care about Fauci.
Not at all.
I mean,
but it was really cool.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
We saw unicorns and Stay Puft Marshmallow Men and vampires and werewolves and
we don't really get any kids because the street's dark and there's not a lot of kids in the neighborhood anyway. Mm-hmm. So maybe at one time there was. But
well, yeah, you're kind of off the beaten path.
Off the beaten path. So so we haven't had kids in quite a few years. So when your own kids were there, when old kids were young, then grandkids and stuff would come, but now it's a lot different. So, but we buy candy anyway, just in case. You never know. Got to have an emergency stash. Mm-hmm. But the problem is now I'll end up eating them.
Maddie Garner, definitely not a Fauci fan. Fauci is a joke, she says.
Well, I was kind of wondering what's going to happen. I guess he's been caught in a couple of lies. So,
No,
so
not you, Tony.
yeah, no,
Lies are just being stupid.
yeah, I don't know.
So, double backing to Halloween.
Yep.
Everybody was in a great mood.
And it wasn't a bad night out
It was
either.
fun.
It was actually pretty warm out.
It was very nice.
Yeah, it was pretty warm out.
Melissa says to me, she goes, I said, you're going to hand out candy with me? Because I just sat outside.
Yeah.
And she said, it's going to be cold. I said, it's 70 degrees out.
Yeah, it was pretty warm.
And she did. She made coffee for both of us. We sat there and had the two puppies and
watched the kids.
We watched the kids.
That's good. Yeah.
There were some things on Main Street here.
Yeah.
I know Jesse from O&E. He was giving out candy.
Yeah.
He texts me, calls me a Scrooge, and says, "Why are you not doing
down
candy
down here
in front of your business?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm doing it in front of my house."
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how many kids were downtown, but
They did. They canceled Spooktopia.
Well, not because of the rain. Yeah, because it did rain pretty hard.
Right,
yeah,
right.
So I'm sure
apparently they're postponing it.
Yeah, I would
they're
think they'll
gonna use it,
reschedule it. Yeah,
I hope so, because that's always a fun event.
I think they'll reschedule it. And maybe if they reschedule it and it starts to get cold, maybe they'll be able to do a walkthrough. Because I know they did it because of mosquitoes, right? That was the reason for the halt. So,
Encephalitis.
yeah, so if it gets cold enough, which I think is going to happen.
You can do that walkthrough.
Yeah, it's supposed to get cold like Wednesday or Thursdays, going down to 30s. Maybe that'll.
But then you're gonna have to get together with like Deep.
Oh,
in the health department to see if that's.
Well, they're the ones that are kind of making the decision.
Right.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll be cold enough and they'll be.
Yeah, that's another thing too. When people go ahead and they, when they hear an event is canceled.
Yeah.
They get all over Ryan Aubin or they get all over the town and stuff like that. Really, it has nothing to do with them.
No.
And it really doesn't. It has a limited amount to do with even the local health district.
Right.
Because they're getting their directives from the state.
Correct.
Which are getting their directives from federal.
Right.
So there you go.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can't blame locals, that's for sure.
Cindy said we had quite a few trick-or-treaters at our house.
Wow.
And I can see where, she would.
Yeah.
She's right on the main drag. So
yeah. Oh, excellent.
Somewhere in town.
Yeah. Good.
So
it was nice to see some. It's nice to see that some of the kids did get out.
Unless it's bike night. Scott says.
Yeah.
Oh
well. So, well.
Not gonna yawn. Are you tired, Paul? Are you bored to tears? What's going on, Paul?
I guess I got to eat my own candy.
Did you even have candy?
Yeah, we did.
Really?
Yeah.
You give it to the cats?
No, can't eat chocolate.
You dress them up? You dress the cats up?
No, but I do have the cats dressed up outside. We have little statues outside.
Oh, all right.
They're dressed up.
The cats are dressed up.
Yeah, I got one looking like Ozzy Osbourne, and one looking like Biden.
Oh,
it's got the the glasses on and the hat. It doesn't say Brandon though.
I got to be honest. Out of all the dumb chants that I've heard in my life, that one's probably about the stupidest. I mean, I get the message. I understand, but it's just kind of dumb.
Well, that was some sports person that changed it because it happened at a NASCAR race.
You get a new kid that comes into third grade. And he sits down, and the teacher goes, "Hello, can you introduce yourself to the rest of the class?" I don't want to. Come on, stand up and tell everybody your name.
Yeah.
My name is Brandon. That poor child.
Yeah.
Then again, third graders not going to understand what hell.
They don't understand what it's talking about, right? Exactly.
So are you gonna vote?
Of course.
Did you know that there is only one voting location, not two?
Oh, there's only one.
See, you don't pay attention.
I'm sorry, because usually it's down by the fire department.
Huh?
Usually it's down by firehouse. There's another one down there, right?
You mean in Griswold?
Yeah.
Patchogue Town Hall?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually, but they shut it down.
Oh.
So it's going to be at the cafeteria at Griswold High School.
Oh, okay.
Plainfield has like 30 districts, that you can vote in.
I always go to the school anyway because that's my district. So,
Huh?
I usually go by the school.
Yeah.
That's where you go to. So,
Well, everybody will be going by the school now.
Yeah.
So it's only one district, and that's it.
Yep. And you got to wear a mask going in, right?
Yes, mask law or mask mandates are in effect. And mainly because the biggest reason, really, they say, well, it's because of the school.
Yeah.
So, Maddie says, so important for you to vote locally. That's very true.
That is true.
It's very, very true.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, you should, for the people that say, my vote, it's not going to matter. It doesn't matter. I'm just one vote. It's not going to matter if I vote or I don't.
Yes, it is.
It's just ask Kevin Skolchek.
Yeah. No, I think it is very important in local elections.
Kevin Skolchek won his first election by one vote. And then it was so close, they did a recount, and then he actually won by 2.
Yeah.
So, yes, your vote
does count.
You imagine if there were 3 other people out of the 13,000 in Griswold, 3 more people that voted the other way. He would not have had tenure as first selectman, winning a second term, and then going on to being a state rep.
Right. Exactly.
Right, wrong, or indifferent, whether you like them or you don't, it happened.
Right.
And it wouldn't have happened if that 1 or 2 or 3 people that said, my vote doesn't matter, actually voted.
Yeah, local elections, your vote does matter. I don't know how, when it comes to national election or federal elections, it all depends because we're outnumbered by the bigger towns and they get the electoral votes, so we're screwed. We can vote red and blue, green, orange.
There are more votes in Bridgeport than there are from Thompson to New London.
Exactly. And they're the ones that elect the president, unfortunately, because we vote, but.
Well, that's why the candidates, when on a national election, presidential election, they go to Bridgeport, New Haven, Hartford, and Danbury.
Exactly.
That's where they go.
Yeah. Because we're meaningless because electoral votes are done by the majority of the vote.
That's why they say, it's everything is, east of the river. We're ignored.
That's right.
When's the last time a presidential candidate came here?
Well, he was just here at UConn. President was just here at UConn.
Okay. That's not Eastern Connecticut. Madeline Garner, again, very active in the chat room today, which thank you, Madeline. I find that untrue. If you look at the voter turnout and these towns, what makes Bridgeport so different? People. There's more people. There are more votes available in those towns.
Sure.
And those towns are also, well, look at East Hartford during the presidential election. 89% Biden, 11% Trump.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are also, I hate to say it, or I don't want to say minorities, because I think one of the biggest minority is the middle-aged white American male. As far as, because tell me, what am I eligible for? Nothing.
Right.
No,
I agree. Who gets all the money too?
Mm-hmm.
Who gets all the money coming down from the
distressed communities? There are a lot of distressed communities.
We're one.
But I'm talking about Bridgeport, in Hartford, Danbury, and New Haven.
Waterbury in there too.
Yeah. That's for sure.
They get all the money. They get everything. We get nothing.
Scott says many great women and men died protecting your right to vote. Don't let that be in vain. V to the O to the T to the E, in caps, vote.
True.
It doesn't matter who you vote for. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Don't sit home and then say, I don't like this person. Because you could have changed it.
Right.
But if you don't,
It's your own fault.
it's your own fault.
Exactly. No.
So we were talking to Jennifer Gauthier, Cindy Martin, and Val this morning about voting.
Yep.
So we did that from like 7:45 till just a few minutes after 8.
Yep.
And they had a lot of great answers to questions on how to vote, where to vote.
Yep.
The ins and the outs. They got everything covered.
Yeah, I think that
Everything.
I think that they run a clean, good ship. They keep track of everything. I would not be concerned about any kind of voter fraud or anything in this town.
No.
Because I think they keep everything on the straight and narrow. Everything is checked to make sure we're not getting double votes and all this other stuff. So they're right on top of it.
And if you want to vote, there is a way for you to vote. One of the questions I had asked is if there's a deadline to register to vote, why can you vote or register to vote on election day itself? And the answer was simple, because nobody will get turned away. You want to vote, you can vote.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
There's a good statement right there. Voter fraud is real.
Oh, it's real.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt that it's not real, but I don't think that we have to worry about it here. I think they run a tight ship.
Okay.
We're so small that, we don't have, hundreds of thousands of votes we got to worry about. We only have a small number. So.
It's 130 absentee ballots.
Yeah.
And not all of them have come in yet.
So there you go. So, and I'm sure they definitely cross-check.
That's one thing I wanted to ask. What happens if a mail-in vote comes in after?
Well, I think they cross-check. My guess is
I'm
that
going to send a message real quick.
I would guess that on the voter list, because there's a voter list, that they would have some kind of an indicator saying that this person was given an absentee ballot. So they know that. And then, because they check you when you come in if you already voted.
Right, but what I'm saying is that let's say that I mail my ballot yesterday or tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's postmarked for election day. If it gets to the town hall and the registrars 2 days later, does it count?
I don't know. I would say, I don't know. It's a good question. You would think that it would not.
Yeah, I mean, is it up to
unless it's postmarked, because they kind of do a tally. I mean, if it's close, you would think they would look at the postmark.
Mm-hmm.
If it was dated before, maybe.
I think it would have to be.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. Our postal service isn't the fastest thing in the world either.
What if somebody dies after they submit their absentee ballot? I'm shooting these questions off now.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna say that if somebody passes away after the absentee ballot has been cast, I would probably think that vote is still valid.
Right.
Because they were alive
when they voted.
Right. But I'm going to ask just the same.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a registrar. I'm just kind of thinking, well, maybe,
Yeah.
Let's see. What if a person dies after the election and sent in an absentee ballot? So there's a couple of questions. Just when you think you got them all, we had them all answered.
Yeah.
There's always some good questions that haven't been.
Yeah.
So we did a show this morning, a little 15-20 minute show with the registrars. It's posted as well, so you can watch it. And it's all about voting. It's all about how to register if you haven't done it yet. Absentees, emergency ballots. Like if somebody ends up in the hospital on election day. It can't go and did not do an absentee ballot. Can you vote?
Yeah, I suppose you could. I mean, I would say yes, you can vote, but I don't think if you're in an emergency. I doubt if anybody's worrying about anybody voting.
Let's say you broke your leg in 26 places and you have to stay in the hospital.
Yeah.
You're lucid. You know what's going on. It's just you got a really, really bad leg.
Yeah.
Well, you can't make it to the poll. So what do you do?
Yeah. I don't know. Some people have to bring an absentee vote. An absentee.
It's an emergency ballot.
Yeah. They call it an emergency ballot?
Emergency ballots. What did we found out this morning? That's what I found out this morning.
I wonder how many of those have actually got. Let's face it, when you got a broken leg and it's that serious, do you think you'd worry about voting?
Somebody might. You may not.
I have other things on my mind other than that.
I understand that, but somebody may not.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm wondering if anybody in the chat room has any predictions for tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
In what town you're in. It doesn't matter the race. I mean, it could be Board of Finance, Board of Education, for selectmen.
Yeah. Be interesting to see how people feel.
Yeah.
We'll do a poll.
Yeah, let's do a mock poll here.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if anybody would actually just put it out there.
I doubt it.
I think the only one that would actually put it out there would be Madeline Garner. To be honest with you, she don't care. She's like, vote, damn it. If you don't, then
yeah.
But I'm like that too. If you don't vote and you're eligible to vote, then sit down. Don't say anything. You have no right to complain.
Right.
If you don't go to a town meeting and they vote on a referendum and you don't vote and you didn't like the outcome, you got nothing to say. And prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Yeah. Well, that was like the one person was complaining about Basra. There was a P&Z meeting. There was a P&Z meeting regarding the data centers here in town. There was only a handful of people there.
It was an EDC meeting too.
And nobody.
Well, there were a bunch of people. There were probably about 20 people at the EDC meeting.
There was a lot of questions for the P&Z and of course the EDC. And then when it came to the EDC, they voted. The P&Z voted okay to move forward. Mm-hmm. They heard it, and they heard about the noise complaints that people were complaining about, and that was the only question. Is they said, "Go ahead, move forward, and we'll check on this noise thing as we move forward." So people had the opportunity to speak and make their concerns known, but there weren't that many people there.
Right.
So you want to bitch, but you don't show up to say what your issues are, then sit down, shut up. Simple as that.
I hate to say it, but you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You have a right to vote. I'm very passionate about that. That's one of the things I'm probably more passionate on than others is voting.
We'll see how many people show up.
Because if you don't vote, you did not exercise your right to make a decision.
Yeah.
Or the right to make a change.
Right. Well, we'll see.
Right. And now the other thing, talking about the data centers.
Yeah.
Here's what let's forget about the just data center for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the people that are complaining or do not approve of these data centers coming into town, if you don't approve of that, I would say if you are happy with your property taxes, if you are happy with all of that, so anything that you're paying, and you're happy with how the town is represented, then okay. If you're okay, and I'm not saying this for any other reason, but it's true. Taxes go up, they rarely come down.
Oh, yeah.
And the only way that they're going to come down is if there's something that comes into town or something in town that pays taxes to offset the property taxes, or the town's going to get their revenue.
Right.
They're going to get their revenue, what they need.
Yeah.
So it's either going to be from you or it's going to be from a business.
Exactly.
That's just the fact. So if you're happy, and you might be, and that's okay, then all right, let it be. Let a sleeping dog lie. Forget about the whole thing.
I mean,
however,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just think about what's going on right now with inflation and what we're paying. If you think come next July that there's not going to be some increase in expenditures because of the inflation that's going on where we're paying right now, it's going to hit. The taxes are definitely going to go up next July.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt they're not going to go up because everything goes up.
Yes.
I mean, the town has just as much expenditures that we do, maybe not to the food extent, but they have, oil, gas, insurance, everything that you would have. They don't really have food, but all those costs are going to go up.
So, Laura, we have the answer to your question. If a person dies after the election, their vote was counted because they were alive at the time of the election. Now, if a voter files an absentee ballot and dies prior to the election, their ballot is removed from consideration and not counted. And that's coming from Jennifer Gauthier, one of the registrar of voters.
Then that's kind of a touchy one, because generally the votes are usually counted on election day, right?
Right.
So if that person died, say Monday night, how are they going to know that they died before Tuesday? They won't know.
Possibly.
So they're not. But how are they going to know?
But then again, if it's that close, then they'll adjust, I would think.
Yeah. So that's a tough one to extract that vote, because you wouldn't even know. I don't think the register of voters gets notified of deaths immediately, like, the funeral parlor.
Let's see. So here's the other answer to the other question. What happens if a mail-in ballot comes in after the election? Jennifer says there's two separate answers. All ballots must be received by close of polls at 8 p.m. on election day. When the town clerk receives the ballot, they check that the serial number and barcode match the voter who returned the ballot, and then they secure the absentee ballot, still sealed in its envelope until election day.
Yep.
So it's checked.
I figured it was checked.
For absentee ballots that are received prior to election day, the town clerks pre-mark the election day checklist to indicate that the voter returned an absentee ballot. Voters who return their absentee ballot prior to election day will not be allowed to vote in a polling place on election day. Okay. So it's marked. When they get it, that's it. You can't show up.
Right.
Which would be a lot easier, especially now, because there's one polling place.
Right.
And we're a small town.
Correct.
So
yeah. And it's not like there's thousands and thousands of votes.
All right. So here we go. There's more. If an absentee ballot arrives on election day, it is held until after 8 p.m. when the absentee ballot is compared to the official election day checklist. If the voter who returned the absentee ballot on election day has voted in person in a polling place, the absentee ballot is not opened and is rejected.
There you go. So there's the double check.
Yep. This procedure ensures that no voter can vote twice, even by mistake.
There you go.
When the polls close on election day, now I'm telling you, these people really care. Otherwise, she wouldn't be putting all these answers, and she doesn't work.
Yeah. Right.
When the polls close on election day, the town clerks feed the ballots into the tabulators to be counted. Each town is able to report their results in separate totals for absentee ballots for their polling places. And in our case, just one place.
Right.
It could be Grizzle High School's cafeteria.
Right.
So essentially, if a ballot is received after the polls close, it is not counted.
Yeah. And they really, I mean, and the other thing too is they certainly check you off the list if you voted, and they identify you with your license or some kind of picture ID.
Yeah.
So I think they're in pretty good shape as far as I'm concerned. I don't think we have to worry too much.
Yeah, so they got it figured out.
Yeah, they pretty much have it covered.
And these are all done by state statutes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So getting back to the data centers themselves.
Okay.
So we're talking about, if, you're happy and it, clap your hands. We're happy with our taxes. Yeah, they're going to go up. I'm good with that. I don't care. Then, okay.
You don't care right now.
They don't care, period. They just don't care. Let's just go with that theory.
No.
That way, there's no gray area.
Okay.
Confirmation bias. That's all this is. So, where the hell am I going to go with this?
I don't know.
I don't even know either. Hold on a minute. So, you want to go ahead and... Oh, okay. So then they say, hey, there's a great new restaurant in town. Or, hey, which there very well may be.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to move your taxes.
No, it's not.
Not going to move it at all. You need game changers. You need some big things to come in.
You need some substantial money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I think the town admits the guffaw with the solar panels.
Yeah.
Because
that was pretty sly on the the contract that they came in, or they came in because they split it so they wouldn't even meet the rules. Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty sneaky at that.
Well, I think that was the first solar panel group in town, so they kind of took advantage of people, unfortunately.
Well, apparently they had a sneaky lawyer, more sneaky than ours.
Yeah. So, but it's water over the dam. It was a lesson learned, just like lessons we learned. Same thing.
Water over the dam, water under the bridge.
Either one. Yeah.
Okay.
I guarantee it won't happen again.
So do you think because of the solar panel situation, people are a little more sketchy feeling sketchy on the data centers? Or do you think it's just a separate situation? People don't even know about the solar panel situation.
I think a lot of people didn't realize the issue with the solar panels.
Stan just says that's a shame what they did to that piece of land with the solar panels.
That's unfortunately anywhere you drive now, solar panels. What are you going to do? Stop like I said, you're going to stop the landowner from selling his property?
Right. So that gets back into, okay, we need a game changer. We need something that will actually, dump substantial money into this town, whether it's from building fees, permit fees, just regular taxes or whatever.
Right.
That's the deal. Right. You need something like that. So what? So now there's an interest in data centers coming into our area.
Yeah.
And which is a private business.
Right.
And there's really not a whole lot you can do. Somebody said in one of the chat groups yesterday, well, what about data centers coming in and selling our information to places like China and Japan? I'm like, they're doing it now. You don't need to be here to be doing it if they're doing it.
Yeah, but our information, what are you going to do? Whether they're going to be here or they're going to be in New York City,
Schenectady. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because
it's still going to be there.
It's still going to be there because let's face it, more and more stuff now is being stored in data centers.
Right.
Because everything is there. Everything, that you think the cloud up there is a cloud that you can just stick some discs up on top of up above you. That ain't the way it works.
So let's cancel that theory right out of the water.
Okay.
You're not going to steal. I mean, if they're selling data, they can do it from here. They can do it from Sacramento. It doesn't matter where they're doing it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
So there's that. Now, the other thing was, and you did some research on this.
Yes, I did.
about the
Noise.
noise, or maybe even lack thereof.
Yeah.
So some
Yeah.
residents are saying that, they're going to be too noisy. It's going to be over here all over the place.
And
What did you find out, Paul?
I found out that really noise wasn't really an issue, and I contacted, I forget the whole damn 3 states.
Was it Indiana?
Might have been Michigan.
Oh, it was Michigan.
Yeah,
it was Michigan.
And yeah, I contacted them, and I actually talked to their director of economic development and asked them about noise and any issues they may have had, traffic and all this other stuff. And they came back to be negative. Nobody complained about anything as far as noise goes. Let's face it. I know at P&Z when they had their meeting, there was a big concern, a possibility of noise. Now, I don't know how much noise a data center would go off, because we know it's heavily air conditioned. I mean, there's probably some stuff on the roof, but it's no different than, I'm sure they're quiet. Maybe the generator's starting up, because they're going to have to generate a backup starting up every day to check those out. But I know that if we have noise issues, they will put in place some kind of a noise barrier and they're off the beaten path. They're not in somebody's backyard. And I think they would put a noise barrier in so that the noise would be
berm,
just like they do on the highways. A lot of, you go down 91, you think those big wooden fences they have on 91 are just for looks. Those are noise barriers for the people behind them. They didn't want to hear noise. So there's things that they can do if noise is an issue because let's face it, they want to be a good neighbor. They don't want to come in here and then tick everybody off, and not do anything. They want to be a good neighbor because they want to have a lot of these things around.
So the other thing is that the worry or the complaint is that data centers fall under a certain rule where they don't have to pay taxes. However, that's true, but it's not true.
It's not true. Not true. Exactly.
So even though they consume a lot of energy, they're paying on how much energy they consume.
Correct.
Whether it's a half a megawatt or what is it?
I think these are going to be
5 megawatt.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the thing is, but it's going to be based on the megawatts used. But a lot of people are thinking, they're thinking about these data centers, but who else is going to make out? Jewett City Power. Think about that. They're going to have a lot more revenue coming in because the power is sold by the municipality, which is going to be Jewett City Electric. What's that going to do? The people who have Jewett City Power right now are going to get a benefit from it because they got a revenue coming in. So they need to get revenue too. Let's face it, right now, the revenue coming in to Jewett City Power really is mostly residential, right? So we're paying for it. So, and we're fortunate enough the rates aren't too crazy. But eventually those rates are going to go up. So data centers come in and they're selling all these megawatts of power from Jewett City to these data centers. They're getting revenue.
Yep.
So what does that mean for Jewett City residential customers? Does it mean it's going to hold their rate? It's either going to hold their rates at pretty much a stable rate, or not cause multiple increases that people complain about. So, and that's a local business. That's helping out a local business.
Okay.
So.
Gonna double back to the solar panels.
Yeah.
Court Kinney states the solar project was a decision made by the State Siting Council where the town had little to no jurisdiction.
There you go. Because I think it was all based on number of megawatts and things like that. So,
And Stan says when it goes to the data centers, Jewett City Electric is only 2 meg. And they didn't build it in Basra because B Light couldn't supply them. Basra.
They're very small.
Right.
They're really small. They're really tiny. Yeah. Yeah, they're not like Jewett City's bigger than that one.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're already talking about being able to supply and bringing more in. Isn't that correct? Or
yeah.
And if anybody knows, Stan would know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good thing for JC Power. Yeah. I really do. I think it's a good thing for them.
And he just said, I'm not sure that Jewett City Electric has enough capacity to supply them and their own customers.
Well, they'll find a way to get it.
Yeah.
They'll buy it. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I just want to make this quick little programming note that if you're watching us online and you make a comment we want to see them. We want to see them, and because we want to make this as interactive as possible. So if you could make the comments in an SNSN board. The reason why is because our system doesn't show external groups that I don't admin, the comments to. So like if a comment is made in Grizzled Now, the only reason I saw that is because I checked my notifications that somebody said, oh, there's a comment there. So there you go.
Yeah.
I just want to make that clear because I don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss something. If somebody has something important to say, which usually is the case.
Yeah.
And I don't want to miss it. So either going to SNSN News or SNSN Radio. Please. Mm-hmm. Not that Grizzled Now is bad. It's just we won't see it.
Yeah.
And then some people, I've had people comment on Grizzled Now and they go, why did you answer my question? Didn't see it. That's all. We share it in those groups so people know we're here.
Yeah.
And that we're on. But you can pretty much mark a calendar. We're on every day in the morning, Monday through Friday. And we're doing sports on the weekend. So.
Well, we'll find tomorrow will be an exciting day around town.
I'm going to find out. Polls open at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm. They close at 8 p.m. There's going to be one polling place. And that is at the Griswold High School cafeteria. You're going to park in the main parking area.
Yeah.
Social distancing rules apply.
Yeah.
You must be masked inside the school per school rules.
And you probably want to, when you park, I know you don't want to park way over to the left. You want to park more to the right. Because we did that one the last time and we had to walk a mile to get back to the car because you go out the back door.
There will be a couple of gentlemen outside. So if you have a handicap situation and you can't get into the polling place, you can do curbside voting. There will be 2 pollsters that will be out there. Mm-hmm. That will be able to assist. So, or bring you around the back if you're, or for whichever reason. Yeah. So there's an opportunity for everybody to vote. Yeah. I think we've tried to cover that today between doing our little our special show this morning with the registrar of voters and the town clerk.
Right.
In the questions that we've had here today. Because here's the thing. And I've been fighting this for 7 years. I didn't know the information was out there.
Yeah.
The information is out there, folks. Yeah. But if you're scrolling and hoping that something is going to come up in your news feed on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever you use, the only thing that you're going to gain is not knowledge, but frustration. Because you're not going to know. Pick whoever it is you trust, whether it's us, whether it's the Norwich Bulletin, whether it's the Day, whoever, but follow who you feel is a reputable news source. And although Grizzled Now is a community chat group where you can make posts and comments, it is not a news source, although there are some pieces of news that are posted in there.
Yep.
If you are relying on Grizzled Now or Grizzled Discuss to get your news of this town, you will not be informed.
No.
You'll know if somebody's cat's missing, and you'll know once in a while if there's a meeting because somebody random will post it.
Yep.
But it's not.
And,
It's never consistent.
and generally, it's somebody's had a bitch, and then people continue on to the bitch and complain about this and complain about that.
We just want to make sure people are informed, and we work very hard at that.
Yeah.
You know, and as do other sources. But we definitely want you to know what your options are, what's happening in town. We don't use bias if you listen to any of our stuff.
Right.
You know, like for example, we have a first selectman race tomorrow. Todd Babbitt, the incumbent, is faced against Dana Bennett, the Republican challenger. I know which way I'm going to vote, but I'm not using it here because it doesn't matter.
Right.
So we stay straight right down the middle. And all we can do is present information so you can make the decision to the best of your ability and what works best for you and your family. That's it.
Right.
But if you don't,
then it's your fault.
Then it's up to you to find that information because, you know, I'll tell you, it's not going to come to you.
Right.
It's not. It's just.
Yeah, I would not rely on somebody. I'm going to vote for that person. I'm going to vote for this person. Then you're not voting for you. You're not making the decision yourself. You're relying on somebody else to make that decision.
See, Stan just said, you know, thanks for letting us know about curbside voting. You're welcome. I mean, and that today makes the whole interview that we did with the registrars, it makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and you can still go back and review it. It's posted. You can watch it. You can zip around. You don't have to. It's like 15 minutes, but you can fast forward, rewind, whatever you want to do. So,
well, they're certainly making it easy for people to get in there and vote.
Right. But there are voting facts in there. There's not like, oh, well, maybe.
Yeah.
And we had the registrar still available for our show this morning.
Right.
And we were able to answer other questions as well.
Yeah.
And we're happy to do that. We're happy to do that. And we will continue to do so. And, you know, I'll be honest with you. You know, I think people think that I just kind of do this every day, you know, and it's this is our job. This is what we do. The Jewett City Savings Bank, as you can see behind the poster, we broadcast from the Jewett City Savings Bank studios. We are only affiliated as far as they support us, and we support them because of all the sponsorship and support they do for us. However, just to put it out there, there's nothing that they say to us that we have to do because SNSN is our own thing. We don't have to conform
to what they say.
Right.
To say what we feel.
That's it. So there you go.
Yep.
Other sponsors that we have, Dr. Zuckerbrown, and he's retiring. He's absolutely retiring. And people are going to miss that. However, just so you know, Dr. Zuckerbrown, who's retiring at the end of the year, we are going to have a new optometrist in town. And it's Katina Simmons. Dr. Katina Simmons. She's a grizzled native. And it's not going to be Dr. Zuckerbrown. You know, everybody go, hey, I'm going to go to Dr. Z. It's Grizzled Eye Care. That's exactly how it's going to be named, Grizzled Eye Care. So we appreciate their support here on SNSN. Grizzled Dental, another one who's been with us pretty much since day one. They certainly care about the community, Dr. K and his entire team. So I can personally vouch. And members of my family as well, with the work that Dr. K and his staff. Can't say staff. his team.
Oh,
yeah, no, he's very particular about that.
is he?
They're teammates.
Oh.
They're not employees.
Teammates.
They're teammates.
Okay.
And their slogan is "We'll make you smile," and they will, because they're very kind. I'm telling you, I've never felt more comfortable in a dentist, and I had some major shit done there too.
I'd be worried. I thought staff was cancel culture. So, whoa.
What's that?
I thought staff was cancel culture, but I guess no.
No.
I'd be worried there for a minute.
Hey, you know what? He does this thing. Grizzle Pride. Grizzle Pride, the coalition for, they're going to give you, there's all sorts of information.
Oh, yeah.
It's the partnership to reduce the influence of drugs for everyone. That's what Pride stands for. There's a lot of information on drug prevention. We just had a National Drug Take Back Day.
Mm-hmm.
You can find it at grizzlepride.org. CIRAC, another organization.
Mm-hmm.
Go to CIRACCT.org. And their slogan, it's 21 for a reason. So they don't deal with just problem drug abuse, but they also deal with alcoholism. They also deal with problem gambling. And they're out of Norwich, and check them out at CIRAC. That's SERACCT.com or .org, excuse me. Dish Motor Group in the beautiful town of North Franklin, right up on Route 32. They're getting bigger again. Cars are coming in. Check them out. Dish Motor Group. Thrifty car sales of Franklin. Right up on Route 32. Ellis Dish. The man.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He's from our community. So. You got anything else to say? Look like you're going to fall asleep over there.
No. What the hell is it?
Eastern Savings Bank.
Oh, yeah.
Eastern Connecticut Savings Bank.
Yeah.
Another. They're doing a whole bunch to their branch right down here in Jewett City.
Yeah. They're getting
sizable. The light is all new. The ATM is new. They got those beautiful sunflower mural on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I did notice that. And they're getting more branches out there too. They're growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's good to see.
Yeah.
That's good to see.
Yeah. So
Mrs. Lisa Griffin doing a wonderful job with Eastern Connecticut Savings Bank.
Yeah.
And her staff and team. So anything else you want to say? I'm going to ask you one more time. There's our sports sponsors, and that's a whole new ball game. But
yeah, the one thing we didn't talk about was today's the big day for the CMAC trial.
Charlene's Diner.
Oh yeah, Charlene's Diner. Forgot about them. Frankie's.
Burns Agency.
Yeah.
Burns Agency. BurnsAgency.com. Well, there's always Dean's. I'm talking about the people that are there every single day.
Yeah.
Yes, Cranky's does support. Yes, Dean's does support. They do too.
Yeah.
And so does Paul Lash.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, guys, thank you very much for showing up today. We really appreciate it. It's always a great conversation when you folks are in here, and we hope to see you once again tomorrow. It's just going to be me riding solo. New Rich Waslick is not coming in tomorrow. I guess he's got to teach a class. So, thank you very much, everybody, for popping in, and we'll see you tomorrow right here on SNSN.